Well, good morning, church family. It's great to be with you all in God's house for worship today. God's eye view. Are you familiar with this phrase? What comes to mind when you think of a God's eye view? Is it perhaps the Lord of the heavens standing in the center of the universe, conducting this cosmic symphony, telling the stars to twinkle and the planets to turn in the orbit? My family and I, we just went on a vacation to Puerto Rico this past week. We got on a plane and I feel like I saw that God's eye view from 30,000 feet, looking out the window and the clouds below, and then coming on approach to land in the islands and seeing the sea spread out and the chain of land islands stretching out upon the water. But then when I look at the gospel lesson today in Mark chapter 3, maybe God's eye view isn't 30,000 feet. Maybe it's not 30,000 light years. Maybe it's more like 3 feet, where Jesus is gathered and he's teaching, he's healing, he's preaching. He goes on, and the crowd is there loving it all, and his family, his disciples start to wonder, is he going to overexert himself? Is he going on too long? Does he need a break? So they send word to call him out away from the people, that he's 3 feet away. And he says, your family is calling for you. And Jesus responds, well, my family is here. I'm with them to serve, to love, to teach, close, to be with them always. And I thought, that's the God's eye view that Christ exemplifies. But then there's one more that I want to submit to you about our vacation experience that I had. Something maybe more directly for our graduates and those of us who have been adulting for a long time, who still need a little perspective. We had a God's eye view from our wonderful condo that was 17 stories up. And we had this great long balcony, about as long as this altar. And from the far left side, you could see the intercoastal waters and the mountains on the horizon, just majestic and glorious. And from the far right side, you could stand and look down and see the palm trees and the sand and the ocean, waves crashing on the shore, and the beach was right there. Talk about the beauty of the earth. Boy, this certainly was God's perspective, God's eye view. And in the middle, sprawled out, was the city, the urban center, with its noise and its interruptions. And not too far, you could see the highway that we would be on soon when we go out on our adventure that day. And the traffic backed up for miles as it stretched on and on. And looking up in the sky, as it did every single day, the rain was coming. And quickly, if you weren't careful, your perspective could go from majesty and awe and wonder of God's creation to, oh my goodness, the traffic, the rain, there's sirens up ahead, there's trouble out there. But then, just as quickly as the rain stopped, or as quickly as it started, it stopped. And just like the rain every day, the rainbow every single day, it came out on the island. And once I saw it start in the mountains, stretch across the sky, and end in the ocean. And my perspective was instantly back to God's promise, God's love, that no matter how much rain would fall, no matter how much traffic, no matter how many sirens were coming for us, God was in charge of all of it. God was overseeing all of it. And God was telling me to get in the elevator, get back down, to see my neighbor, to see God's family 3 feet away, and be a part of that promise of love and service that God has for us forever and always. Amen.